It's Wednesday, May 20th, and this is Now on HNN.
And that's what the public doesn't understand. They think that if they report a quarantine violation, the officers are going to come and take them away in handcuffs.
State lawmakers are pushing for tougher enforcement of the 14-day traveler quarantine.
The leads are coming in through hotel workers and then on social media.
The CDC releases a new roadmap for safely reopening. I'm Skyler Henry at the White House with the detailed guidance on how to get the country moving again.
You can't be overly prescriptive.
A World War II veteran is getting some royal recognition. I'm Ian Lee with the latest honor for Captain Tom.
I'm still Tom Moore. Sir Thomas sounds very nice.
Plus, we continue to remember the life and legacy of Willie K.
It just goes around. It's just a circle of aloha, man.
These stories, plus how Google is celebrating Brother Iz's birthday, coming up on This Is Now.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for watching. This is Now. The time is now 12:16. I'm your director-producer, Jonathan, alongside Ashley. We got some news from the Department of Health.
That's right. Health officials are reporting just 2 new COVID-19 cases today, a patient on Oahu and one on the Big Island, bringing the statewide total to 643. Hawaii's death toll stands at 17, and so far, more than 90% of patients have been released from isolation.
Meanwhile, with the traveler quarantine now extended through June 30th, authorities are closing loopholes to catch violators. Lisa Kubota has more.
So I think we're slowly but surely making progress.
The Senate Special Committee on COVID-19 learned about changes made in the last week to discourage travelers from breaking the mandatory 14-day quarantine. Despite pressure to ease overcrowding in jails, judges have agreed not to release people arrested for quarantine violations unless they post bail.
$2,000 has been established as a reasonable bail for these quarantine because of their fact that they've already shown that they're not following the rules. So therefore, we've got justification for putting it higher than the normal $1,000, which is for a misdemeanor.
If they do post bail and don't have conditions to stay in their designated quarantine location, I think in most instances we've escorted them to the airport and they've flown away.
Since Saturday, arriving visitors are no longer allowed to leave the airport unless they have a return ticket, and they must indicate how many nights they're staying. Honolulu police have now arrested 7 people for quarantine violations. Officers can choose to warn, cite, or arrest violators depending on the circumstances and the evidence.
And that's what the public doesn't understand. They think that if they report a quarantine violation, the officers are going to come and take them away in handcuffs, and that's not necessarily true.
The lawmakers also heard from a new Facebook group called Hawaii Quarantine Kapu Breakers. Volunteers provide tips which are verified and developed, then given to an investigator from the Attorney General's office.
The leads are coming in through hotel workers and then on social media. So social media has been a huge help with finding out where these people are and where they're staying.
Lisa Kubota, Hawaii News Now.
Big Island beaches are now open for lounging with rules. Groups can't be larger than 10, and people not in the same household should be spread out 6 feet from each other. Beaches also close at 6 p.m. And with no active cases on Kauai for more than a month, the county wants to fast track its reopening. Kauai Mayor Derek Kawakami says he's asking for the governor's approval to reopen certain businesses as soon as this Friday, including outdoor tours and guides, churches, and private fitness classes. If Kauai gets approval, these medium-risk businesses will be ahead of most of the state.
Every state has started moving forward with its reopening plans, and I'm looking at the CDC's website right now, and the agency has now released more extensive guidelines for how details from the White House.
The CDC has released new detailed guidance to support President Trump's plans for reopening the country.
Opening up our country. We're opening it up very fast.
The 60-page guidelines lay out a roadmap for reopening schools, businesses, restaurants and bars, youth programs and camps, child care programs, and mass transit. The guidelines call for maintaining 6 feet social distancing, regular hand washing, and protecting people who are the most vulnerable.
We'd like for them to look at these guidelines, but you can't be overly prescriptive. Not every state and every county and every jurisdiction has the same infection rate.
President Trump says the large number of positive cases in the U.S. shows there are enough tests currently available.
If we were testing 1 million people instead of 14 million people, we would have far fewer cases, right? So I view it as a badge of honor.
The shutdown has pushed 36 million Americans onto the unemployment rolls, and President Trump was asked about his plan to get those people back to work.
Why haven't you announced a plan to get 36 million unemployed Americans back to work? You're overseeing historic economic despair. What's the delay? Where's the plan?
I think we've announced a plan. We're opening up our country. Just a rude person you are.
Congress boosted unemployment benefits by $600 a week. But that expires this summer, and Democrats want to extend the benefit through the end of the year.
Do we honestly believe the unemployment crisis with 36 million unemployed Americans will be behind us by the end of July? I wish that were the case.
Senate Republicans say they are concerned the bigger unemployment checks create less of an incentive for people to go back to work. Skylar Henry, CBS News, the White House.
Honolulu's mayor unveiled a new aggressive testing initiative backed by the University of Hawaii to ensure the city reopens safely. The goal is to offer 100,000 COVID-19 tests. About half would be conducted by Oahu's 7 community health centers and private labs. The other half would be antibody tests done by a new UH lab to be built using $4 million in federal funding and grants. A previous testing plan for the mayor was rejected by the health department. This time it's involving local partners. And UH's president says the state is on board. The city also plans to test wastewater. That's right, sewage, for COVID-19. Lacey Denise explains why.
As part of an aggressive new testing strategy, the city plans to not only test more people for COVID-19, they intend to start testing wastewater. The city announced yesterday that it's participating in a COVID-19 wastewater testing project. The city says people with COVID-19 shed the virus in their feces, so wastewater tests could conceivably prove a powerful tool in spotting surges in cases.
It's not going to give you specificity around neighborhoods. It's not going to give you specificity around individuals. It's just going to tell you as a sort of trend line. If we see a spike, we know that potentially there's a lot of asymptomatic folks out there that may not be coming in and getting tested.
The City Department of Environmental Services has already collected its first round of samples. Tests will be conducted weekly for at least 2 months. The pilot project costs $25,000 and is being funded with federal stimulus money.
So when you're on Facebook today, you might notice something different. The social media giant is lending its hand now to small businesses. The company is introducing Facebook Shops. That's something that makes it easier for companies to create a single online store for customers. There's no charge in developing a Facebook shop. Facebook says the new application will make buying and selling online more simple. Major flooding from 2 failed dams could put the city of Midland, Michigan underwater. I got more new video to show you right now. Michigan's governor has declared a state of emergency, and some 10,000 people in the central part of the state have been told to evacuate. Michael George has more.
Aerial scenes of Midland County, Michigan show roads, vehicles, and buildings submerged after raging water overtook a pair of dams Tuesday.
This is the craziest we've ever seen.
We've watched waters go from, manageable to unmanageable.
Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer flew over impacted areas Wednesday, warning residents floodwaters could reach 9 feet.
We are anticipating the height being around 8 o'clock tonight. If you are in an impacted area and have not done so yet, please get somewhere safe.
The collapse of the Edenville and Sanford dams already forced the evacuation of thousands of residents downstream. Jeff Pittman took his boat to help get his pastor to dry land.
The church is waist deep in water. I was here in the flood of 86, 87, was here a couple years ago with the flood. This is a bit worse.
The historic dam failures came as record-breaking rainfall of more than 7 inches drenched parts of the Midwest this week.
Experts are describing this as a 500-year event. It's going to have a major impact on this community and on our state for the time to come.
Michigan has also been dealing with the coronavirus pandemic and is preparing to reopen certain businesses Friday.
We've got to continue to all work together to observe best practices, do our part to help one another, and to wear our masks and continue to try to social distance.
In 2018, the Edenville Dam was given an unsatisfactory condition rating by the state. Governor Whitmer says her administration is examining what caused both dams to fail and will pursue legal action if necessary. Michael George, CBS News.
Developing right now, a powerful cyclone is moving inland after lashing out on Bangladesh and India. We got new video into our newsroom. More than 2.6 million people fled to shelters in a frantic evacuation made more challenging by the pandemic. The storm is equivalent to a Category 3 hurricane and is packing sustained winds of up to 105 miles per hour. Authorities warn it could destroy flimsy houses, and the storm surge may push seawater inland.
As we continue to remember Willie K, Billy V takes us on a trip to Maui when he talked to Uncle Willie about his music and connection with people.
Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Earlier this year, I got to sit down with Willie K on the island of Maui. We talked about music, but Willie was in the mood to talk about communicating with people. Back then, people were still flocking to Mulligan's to listen to him play.
Yeah, I got a whole new fan base now, if you like call that. They send money, they send their stories and everything, and they say that they're still surviving for like 7, 8 years. You know, you're gonna push through, you're strong. You know, we love you, and it just goes around. It's just a circle of aloha, man. Just going around with Willie K. And I'm teaching everybody about that. When you share, you share truthfully. You don't lie to them.
Willie shared his experiences and became everyone's cheerleader to be the best person that they could be and to live with aloha. For many, whether for music or for message, Willie was their social media brother.
Every show I get now is sold out now. I'm going like, oh, this is going crazy. What's the big deal? I didn't want to say it, but I go, well, I don't know. I had to die to get all you guys to show up. Good morning. How you feeling? The New Note show was unreal. Yeah, it was just jam-packed. And I was having so much fun. Well, I didn't need medication to continue on. And I realized I played for 2 hours. And I hope you guys had a good time. With no pain, nothing hindering my joy that I'm doing on stage, making people laugh. Oh, that was so much fun. I miss ya! And it's really, really hard because my clientele now that listens to my music, and I love rock and roll, you know, the blues and everything else, we are all turning silver, brother. You know what I'm saying? We are all turning silver.
He embraced approaching kupuna status. He was teaching people. At a recent Super Bowl party, he was dismayed because the two opposing football teams of fans couldn't get along.
You know, this is Willie K at his moment of what he wants because it's not happening. I said, what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna get you guys to stand up. Stand up. I said, stand up. And everybody stood up. I said, now go to the next table. To you. You find that person on the next table and you shake their hands and you give them a hug and say aloha. Because this island and all the whole state of Hawaii is lacking the spirit of aloha. Seriously. And they did that, and you know, these are holy people, but when they did that, not knowing each other, man, they were in tears. They was like, what is this thing we're feeling? And brother, it's a spiritual aloha, man. That's how it is. Till you finally, if somebody like me, gotta make you realize that. Where your troubles melt like lemon drops, high above the chimney tops. That's where you find me.
Uncle Willie will surely be missed. Back here on Oahu, another large food distribution is wrapping up at Aloha Stadium. Cars once again lined up hours early. One vehicle could pick up food for up to 3 households, and here's what you need: a valid government-issued ID, a pen, and a household information form already filled out. You can download those forms at hawaiifoodbank.org. There will also be printed forms available at the distribution.
All right, World War II veteran Captain Tom Moore is getting some royal recognition from his fundraising efforts. Today, Britain's Queen Elizabeth offered him knighthood. We got Ian Lee in London. He wraps up this report.
Captain Tom.
The year just keeps getting better for Tom Moore. First, he was promoted from captain to colonel, and now he's set to be knighted.
I'm still Tom Moore. Sir Thomas sounds very nice, but inside I haven't changed. Nothing's changed inside.
The humble British World War II veteran stepped onto the world stage with a charity walk around his garden, raising more than $40 million to support healthcare workers in the UK. His original goal was just $1,200.
And it went up and up and up. That was simply, it was unbelievable.
The grateful nation gave him a 100th birthday bash to remember, with a royal salute by 2 vintage World War II fighters, a letter from the Queen, and thousands of birthday cards from around the globe, filling the gymnasium at his grandson's school. Prime Minister Boris Johnson promoted the knighthood, and Queen Elizabeth officially approved it. But there's one thing in particular troubling Sir Tom.
How do I get down on one knee? Because if I get down, I can't get up.
Who knows? Maybe the Queen will offer him a hand.
I doubt it. It's worth a thought, isn't it?
Ian Lee, CBS News, London.
Sir Tom, I love it.
I love that guy. And we'll keep following his stories too. We've had a couple updates on him. And love watching his journey there.
Meanwhile, today would have been Bretta Iz's 61st birthday. The Hawaiian musician is being honored with a very special interactive Google Doodle. Check out the art on the search engine page. Israel Kamakawiwa Ole is known for touching the world with his beloved rendition of Over the Rainbow. And the ukulele player and singer-songwriter from Makaha was born on May 20th, 1959.
That was a nice surprise, going to Google and seeing that image, and then you click on it and then you see the music video they created. Very, very cool. Speaking of Brother Is, we have a special documentary on H&N's digital platforms called Beyond the Rainbow. It's been up there for a while, but you can still access it. All you have to do is go to the Apple TV, Roku, Amazon Prime, or on our website, or even our app. I'm going to give you a preview of it if you have some time.
Great job, Jonathan.
Thanks. Yeah, we put that together with Billy V and Lacey Denise a couple years ago for the 25th anniversary of Facing Future, but it's still relevant now, and especially with it being his 61st birthday.
Absolutely.
So, all right, guys, you got to check this out. I've been waiting for this story. Some diners in a Maryland beach town are bouncing back to eating out with a little help with these inflatable tube tables.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. The Baltimore-based company rolled out the bumper tables that allowed people to keep 6 feet apart from each other while eating and talking amongst one another. The inflatable tables debuted at a restaurant called Fish and Tails in Ocean City, Maryland. On Saturday, the devices feature a hole in the middle, and participants can wheel around and talk and just hang out amongst each other.
I hope they use plastic cups because
I hope so too. That's really funny.
It looks a lot of fun, but yes, definitely dangerous. You can't really keep anything on the table.
Yeah, and going to the bathroom would be difficult. So, I don't know. We got some more good news though, guys.
That's right. Here at home, Maui Memorial Medical Center workers were showered with thousands of flowers. Blue Hawaiian helicopters paid tribute to the healthcare heroes, EMS crews, and frontline first responders yesterday. Now, the flowers were donated by several organizations and coordinated in part by State Representative Troy Hashimoto.
And it is raining flower petals there. That is awesome. It must have smelled nice.
Yeah.
All right, guys, that's going to do it for This Is Now today on this Wednesday. We'll be back tomorrow. No official press conferences planned that I know of, but if they pop up, we'll let you know in a push alert from our H&N Digital team. You guys stay safe out there. Have a great day.